Yay, player ratings time. I don't do these, but today's a special day, I guess. Alright, so first off, who is first? Neuer, 0. I don't know what on earth he was doing on that goal. That's a straight up 0. Yeah, that has to be the stupidest thing I've seen in a very long time. He gets a 0. I think that's the lowest I've ever given a player. Damn. I think the lowest before that was a 5 or a 6, and he gets a straight up 0. Rafinha, I thought he did pretty okay. There was a lot of runs down the right where Gnabry was doing a lot of runs, especially in the first half. I felt like in the first 10-15 minutes, Gnabry did like 10 runs alone. But Rafinha just never actually played that ball to him. But defensively, I thought he did pretty well, so I'll just give him a 5. A 6, honestly. Yeah, a 6. Zule, I'll give him a 6.5. He had some very, very good challenges, some very, very good tackles. I didn't think it was overall that bad, but then second half, the whole team basically collapsed, and just for that, you know, he's part of the team, so yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. Hummels gets a 6.52. A 6, honestly, more like. That second goal from Virgil van Dijk, he really should be winning that header there. Hummels really should be winning that header. And then their third goal, Hummels really should be getting on that ball or have much better communication. So he's at fault for 2 goals. But besides that, I did actually think he played pretty well. But he's at fault for 2 goals. I'll give him a 5.5 actually. Alaba, I don't think Alaba was bad, honestly. I thought Alaba was pretty okay. I'll give him I think he's one of our better players actually. I think I'll give him a 7. Javi good defensively, bad carrying the ball at all. Like we were basically like, once he got the ball, the game just stopped pretty much. But he was good defensively. I'll give Harry a 6. Thiago in the first half was shambolic. Like, that was the worst I've seen him in a very long time. I mean, if I had to just judge his first half alone, he'd get a 4 or maybe a 3. But he picked it up in the second half a little bit, so I'll raise that a little. So I'll give Thiago a 5. Just based on that first half, it was absolutely disastrous. Gnabry, again, he did a lot of runs in the first half, got us their goal. The second half, he still tried those runs, but a lot less frequently. He was probably our best player. Honestly, I'll give him a 7. I bet our best player getting a 7. That tells you a lot. James was working a lot, but like nothing he did worked. He was all over the pitch. He was at the heart of the attack. He was at the back defending. But like every time he actually was on the ball, every time he actually tried to do something, it just completely flopped. So I'll give him a 6, honestly. Ribery was disastrous. Oh my days, Ribery was bad. Like Ribery pretty much stopped all, which is kind of sad to say, honestly. Ribery stopped all of our attack. Like every time we had attack and it went through Ribery, like it was basically just the attack stopped. Which is kind of sad to say, considering this is his last Champions League game for us. Ribery, for me, he gets a 3, honestly. I know I gave Neuer a lower score. I'll give Neuer... He made 1 save. One save that he actually had to make, in a second save that was shot right at him. Neuer. So I'll give Neuer a 3.5 just so I can give Ribery... I'll give Neuer a 3 and Ribery gets a 2. That's really... That's quite low. You know, 2 is very, very low. Like, I know I should probably give him like a 1 or a 0, but he gets a 2 in my opinion. He at least was on the pitch. That's how you get a 2. All right. Unless he scored like 5 own goals, which he didn't, so he gets a 2. Lewandowski, another terrible showing. I've never been part of like the critics, you know, that basically is like, you know, along the lines of Ribery needs to score in the big teams, against the big teams in the Champions League, because usually he only scores in the group stages and whatnot, and then he scores once the tie is already over, but he's never been crucial for us, and so on and so forth. He only shows up in the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal, but he never shows up in the Champions League for us, and I've never really been part of that. But like, the more you watch him, the more, honestly, it just becomes hard to actually defend him. Today he spent more time on the floor than in the penalty box. He spent more time on the floor than trying to get involved in the game, and he just tried to seek a foul rather than actually try and get in the box. What annoyed me as well was that once he was on the wing, like once he was like initiating a counter or something, he just stops, plays it back, stops, does nothing. So he was very frustrating to watch. I'll give him honestly a 4. Substitutions, Goretzka wasn't bad, but really didn't do anything. Like, he was pretty much a passenger for most of the game, in all honesty. I'll give him a 5. Coleman tried. Nothing really worked, but at least he tried, I guess. So he gets a 5. And Sanchez had a few good moments, and then he had a few very bad moments. I'll give him a 4.5, and hey, that's a player ratings. Joy.